And of course, my number one figure of 2016 is the DC Collectibles Mattel Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice Mattel Batman. I love this figure.
Come on, boys.
What the heck's up, you guys? Animated Heroes here, back with another figure video, and this time I'm going to be doing my top 7 favorite action figures of 2016. I know you guys are wondering why I've got this guy right here. That's because I don't want to show you guys just yet, and obviously this guy is seriously not my number one, but for some reason I do have an awkward liking for this figure, maybe just because it's Batman and it reminds me of a childhood Batman toy that I used to have. I don't know, but either way, I'm going to be bringing you guys my top 7 figures of this year, and I know you guys are wondering why it's 7, and I was going to go with 5, and then I was going to go with 10, but when I tried to pick 5, I couldn't work with 5 because I liked more than 5, and then I was going to go with 10, and I was like, well, I can't find another 3, so my awkward number is 7. You can relate it to Dragon Ball Z or something, I don't know. The 7 Dragon Balls, there's 7 of those, so I got 7 figures. But anyway, let's go ahead and get on into it so I can show you guys my top 7 favorite figures of this year. Numero 7 would be the SH Figuarts Battle Arc version of Sasuke Uchiha. And the reason I say this guy is just because, for one, it's Sasuke Uchiha, so I'm a little bit biased on it, but I knew when I got this figure and that I knew I was going to make this video, this guy was going to be on the list simply because, in my opinion, he deserves to be, especially compared to if you've got this guy. And honestly, I liked this guy a little bit when he came out, but I think it was just because I was biased. I was one of the only people that actually liked this figure from what I know, but then I got this one and I just realized how much it knocked this guy out of the park. So this guy right here, if you don't got him and you're a Naruto collector, highly recommend this figure. And while he does come with pretty much the same exact accessories of this guy, yeah, definitely a whole lot more worth getting. And I'm hoping we get an update of this costume because I actually like this costume. I'm hoping they give us the Rinnegan version or something, just an updated version of this costume, because I do prefer this costume over this one, and with the bangs down and everything, but this one just looks a whole lot better. So yeah, number 7 on my list is gonna be this guy, Sasuke Uchiha Battle Arc Itachi version. Numero 6 will definitely be the Mafex armored Batman vs. Superman version of this guy. And I gotta say that, man, this figure is just awesome. It's so much fun to play with. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever had a Mafex before, but to the people who do, you know Mafex is pretty flimsy. It's hard to get him to stand up straight sometimes, and this figure is no exception to that. He's pretty much the exact same, but it's just so fun to play with and pose this guy, and that's exactly why I like it so much. Plus, wired capes are always the best in my opinion. I love wired capes that can pretty much spread out like this. I love that. It's Batman. It's just an awesome and fun figure to play with, and the reason I chose this one over the Mezco version simply because of the wired cape, and just I like the way it looks a whole lot better. I'm not sure why, but I just really like this. From the moment I pulled it out of the package, I knew that I was in love with this figure. So that's why this guy ended up coming in number 6. Numero 5 would be this guy, and that would be the Revoltech version of Deadpool. And as you guys can see, he's a little bit confused as to why he's on this list. Now, this figure right here, I gotta say, is pretty much a love it or hate it type of figure. Either you really enjoy it, you really like it, or you just extremely dislike it. And unfortunately for me, I love this guy, man. What I paid for him, I don't regret at all. This is a figure that I probably won't get rid of because I really enjoy it. And while he does have a whole lot of issues like these that are terrible, the swords pop out really easily. This piece right here does not stay on his back for anything, but I just have so much fun posing this guy. Like, honestly, every time I get ready to take a shot on Instagram and post it, I want to post this guy. He's just so fun to play with, and really, I enjoy this figure a lot. Like I said, I don't really have any specific reasons other than it's just fun to pose. I know sometimes it's difficult to get him into certain poses that look good with these weird joints, and a lot of people don't like the clicking Revoltech joints. That's just something a lot of people can't deal with. But I've had Revoltechs before, and I know how they work. So even before this guy was released, I already knew what to expect. I know a lot of people were let down, but it was exactly what I was expecting, and I loved it a whole lot more than I thought I was going to. So number 5 on my list will be the Revoltech Deadpool. Numero cuatro on my list would definitely be this guy, and this is the Super Action Statue Kaneki. For those of you who don't have this figure and you like Tokyo Ghoul, I highly recommend it because it's a masterpiece. I gotta say, the only issues that I have with this figure are the fact that his legs are a little bit wobbly, so it's sometimes hard to get him to stand. But other than that, this figure is absolutely awesome. It's fun to play with, it's fun to pose, and he just looks good on your shelf. It looked literally like they took him right out of the anime and just brought it to life. And it comes with this hand, man, the finger popping hand. You can't beat that. It's an all-around awesome figure. And like I said, if you're a Tokyo Ghoul fan, he's fun to have. And if you're a completionist like myself, because I also have the other two, those aren't as great, but it's probably just because I'm not as much of a fan of the characters. I really love Kaneki, so I was excited for this one, and I just wasn't let down. And one thing about Super Action Statue is that they never, ever disappoint. They get things on point. I give them that much. So, yep, that's my number 4, Kaneki Super Action Statue. Number 3 on my list would be the Super Vegeta SH Figuarts, and as you guys can see, he's not even tall enough to get a cool pose in on here. But anyway, I'll move him up just a little bit. This figure, man, is just so freaking awesome, and I knew this figure was going to be awesome when I got Trunks and they announced they were making him. I was like, this figure is going to be so cool. But man, I love this figure a whole lot more than I thought I would. It's probably my second favorite Dragon Ball Z figure, simply just because it looks nice, the aesthetics are nice, everything about it is nice. They added a little bit of shading in there, and the faces, everything about this figure is absolutely nice. I just really love it. And if you're a Dragon Ball Z collector and you don't have this one, I highly recommend it. This is the Vegeta to get. Now, while I do recommend the original, if it's just too much for you, this is the guy to have, because honestly, I like this one more than the original, but the original is the original. But either way, highly recommend this guy. Just it's a fun figure. Another one that's just fun to pose, and if you like to pose stuff around, and just, it's awesome. That's really all I got to say about this guy, is that's the only reason I can tell you guys you need to get him, is just because he's awesome and he's fun to play with. Even holding him, I just want to put this guy in a pose. Let me do it real quick, just because it's that fun of a figure that you just want to play with it at all times. And no matter what you do, it looks nice. That's just, it's an awesome figure. But anyway, not to ramble on about this guy, that's my number 3, Super Vegeta SH Figuarts. Numero 2 would be T'Challa SH Figuarts, Black Panther from Civil War. And man, I gotta say, this figure is awesome. This is my number 2 just because this figure is awesome. The same with Vegeta. It's just so awesome. It's fun to have, it's fun to pose. I don't pose it much because I don't have a whole lot of Marvel figures, and I like to do like compilation photos of those guys, but this one right here is easily my most favorite Marvel figure, period. This guy is the reason that I'm holding on to my SH Figuarts line, because I don't want to have this guy and not have Captain America and Iron Man, because as you guys know, if you do know me, I'm not that big of a Marvel fan, but this guy right here is the main reason that I got the other figures, just because I wanted him to go with them. But he is a little bit pricey. He goes for about 90 to 100 now, but hey man, I feel like it's worth it just because I am a big fan of the character. And if I'm a big fan of the character, I don't care what the price is, I'm going to pay it. While the Marvel Legends version is good, it's just not going to compare. And one thing that I do like about this is that if you saw my review, you would know that you could take this head off and you could pop this one on. It won't stay properly, but it will actually look good on there. It looks right, well, depending on the angle. Of course, the peg in there is a little bit, well, the hole is a little bit bigger than it's going to be on that one, but it'll sit on there pretty nicely, and it looks nice on there. It actually, and this resembles Chadwick Boseman so much that it just looks good. So that's another reason that this guy is my number 2, other than the fact that this figure is just extremely awesome. So if you don't got him, you like Black Panther, you collect the SH Figuarts line, you got no reason not getting this guy. If you don't want to pay the price, I can definitely understand, but I will say if you do get it, he's worth it. Now for number 1 on my list, the figure that I love the most this year, that I ended up getting rid of and had to get another one just because this figure is so awesome, it will be the Mezco Dawn of Justice Batman versus Superman Batman. This figure is just so freaking awesome. I can't even explain it to you guys. Like, man, do I love it. And it's my first Mezco, so it's probably why I fanboy so much over it, but it's just so awesome, man. The cloth clothing, the way it fits the character, the detail, the posability, just everything about this figure is nice. And it was a little bit expensive. I paid $80 for it, but I don't care. Like, man, this one is just, this is it. This is the Batman for me. I mean, I love this one so much that when I go to Comic-Con, I'm hoping that Ben Affleck is there. I'm going to get him to sign the box of this one. It was going to be the Mafex version, but now it's this version simply because this is just the Batman. I feel like if you like Ben Affleck's Batman, if you like Batman versus Superman Batman, this is the one to have just because it looks great, has the most amount of accessories, and just the cloth, everything about it, the cape, it's just a dope figure to have. And that's why it's my number 1, simply because for one, I wanted this figure and I didn't think anyone ever was going to release it. I always look up to SH Figuarts, but they never made it. And when I found out that Mafex was making one, I got excited. But then I found out Mezco was making one, and I said, well, this guy will be my first Mezco. And I was not disappointed. So yeah, this guy right here is definitely my number 1. If you don't got him, highly, 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 highly recommend this figure. This is figure of the year for me. It can't be beat in my opinion, unless somebody comes out really quick with something that I wasn't expecting. I don't know, maybe the SH Figuarts Harley Quinn is probably going to feel a little bit better. I don't know, but I'm a big Batman fan. Either way, not to ramble on, like I said, this guy is my number 1 for the year, and I hope you guys like my list. If you do, don't forget to give this video a like, give it a thumbs up. That always helps me out. I got one more video to do before the year is over, so I hope you guys have enjoyed 2016. If not, I'll have a 2016 discussion video where we guys can talk about that. But anyway, as usual, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.